the horse riding, in addition to it keeping you physically fit, that the Prophet ﷺ recommended, it was also preparing people to be strong in defense. You see, defense. That if there was to be a war against your religion, you could stand and defend. If there was to be something against you and your family, you'll be physically fit to defend. If there was to be an attack on your country, you could stand and defend. So in today's time, if you know bow and arrow, and you go into a war, it wouldn't be bow and arrow. It's going to be guns. So you got to learn to shoot guns. And you see, that's what brings me to the point of being 50-50 with Republican and Democrat when it comes to gun. I do believe, from an Islamic perspective, the Republican point of view, that every law-abiding citizen in the United States of America, I don't want to sound like Trump here, but where right is due, has the right to possession of firearms. That's the Islamic law. Everyone had the right to have a sword, a bow and arrow. That doesn't make me a terrorist or say this on Alhikmat TV. That's your right. Trump says that, so I can't say that. And he's the president. They should lock him up first. But I support the next aspect of the Democratic Party now, that they've got to be strong gun control if you're going to let everybody have the rights to have a gun. Proper screening, get a police clearance certificate on their character, any history of breaking the law, no rights of gun and license, and everybody should have a license to have a gun. I support that on the Democratic Party side. Need to have a license to have a gun. You should be able to have police clearance certificate. As I said, you need to have a doctor certificate, a medical certificate. Because 9 out of 10 times a man shoots someone in America, if they don't say he's a terrorist, what do they say? Mentally sick. Well, then we need some medical certificates before. And it should be checked every year. If not, 3 years is a little too long. Because of the crime and situation in the world and in America, that should be renewed every year. Keep on track. So the doctors will lose their license if they give a false certificate on a person who is not healthy physically, mentally, to possess a firearm. Plus, and that's why I support the Democratic Party, but I support the Republican, that everyone has the rights, but we're going to have some license. It's like a driver's license. Everybody got the rights to drive. But if you're mentally sick and you have other cases, you won't. Don't they ask you that when you go for a license? Do you have this? Do you have that? Can you do this? Can you do that? No, you just don't get a license. You know, I would wish to see that America also, and these are some of the things we put out in the Islamic conversations and interfaith discussions, that the politicians and the congressmen and the senators need to discuss with religious leaders some of the issues because it's pertaining to human beings. A man should also have a religious certificate from the church he attends, from his priest, that he is morally set in mind. You follow what I'm saying? Christian, Hindu, whatever, they should say, yes, I know this guy. Listen, if you're going to get a passport sometimes, or you're going to get some immigration status, you got to get it from your church, a recommendation that you are morally set, such and such about you. Immigration, this, that, and the other. Why not for guns? And it's such a situation. Now you may tell me, what about the man who has no religion? Well, all right, you should get about 3 people now in the community, law-abiding people, good character people, who will recommend that this guy has the ability to possess firearms. So we get into the real democratic side here now. Because this is a big issue. I don't know how many of you keep track with the news. Now they want the NRA, the National Rifle Association, President Trump, they're all talking about now, excessive ammunition should not be allowed. You have to have a special license. It's not about the ammunition. It's about the person. You see, that's what I meant in the first khutbah, bi'idhnillah. You talk of birth control, gun control, border control. What about Satan control? You see, if we get God into the lives of the people, if we would encourage people to have Allah into them, and we read and live by this Quran in that spiritual way, people will be guided, rightly guided. And they wouldn't have to go and do all this craziness with no guidance. All this sort of shooting and madness. You just get angry, you shoot somebody. What is anger? Anger is a sign of shaitan. The Prophet ﷺ says, anger is a sign of the devil. Because Satan is the one who inculcates this kind of feelings into the people. And he gave us so many different lines that Satan was created from fire. A man who gets angry gets very fiery. So you need to make wuzu to cool down the fire. And if you don't cool down that fire in an angry satanic man, you got to take a shower or probably throw a cold bucket of water on him.